Get everything you need for your next job without the hassle at aquabluemosaics.com. We carry everything from high-quality pool tile, porcelain pavers, grout, fire and water features, and everything in between that you need to get your project done and put some money in your pocket. A literal showroom in the palm of your hand, we are the most powerful tool any pool contractor can have in their pocket. Become an Aqua Pro and save money on every order, get free samples, and have full access to our unmatched customer service. Easy to remember, hard to forget. Visit aquabluemosaics.com.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Pool Magazine Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Joe Trusty, and today I have special guest James Votraw, Southeast Business Development Manager with Latham Pools, on the show with us today. James recently made headlines with his remarkable weight loss transformation, losing almost 150 pounds and going from out of shape and obese to just plain beast. It's a pleasure to have you with us today on the show, James.
Hey, thanks, Joe. Pleasure to be here.
Before we dive deep into your transformation story, can you give our listeners a sense of who you are, what's your background and your role in the pool industry, and what does a typical day in your world look like?
Sure. I'm a business development manager for Latham. We're the largest fiberglass pool manufacturer in North America. I'm a father of three. My daughter Lacey is 20. My son Jackson is 7. And Bruin is 3. So I have quite the variety in the household. I have a wonderful wife, Jamie. So it's James and Jamie. On the work side, I manage about 100 dealer accounts. I help them grow their business. So my days are part coaching, part problem solving, and part road warrior. I cover the whole state of Florida, which is a pretty large territory. It's a lot of travel, a lot of relationships, a lot of passion for helping people bring backyard dreams to life. The funny thing is, I was helping everyone else build their dream lifestyle, and I wasn't living mine. I was sitting on the sidelines, literally surrounded by pools, but not stepping into one. That irony didn't hit me until later on. I've been with Latham for 5 years now, and I started this health shift 2 years ago.
A lot of people have read your story in Men's Health and Men's Fitness, and your journey has been pretty remarkable. But I wanted to hear it from your own words. I mean, can you take us back to that moment when things hit the wall for you, when you realized, something had to change with your own health?
Yeah, there was a couple things. If anyone's read my story in Men's Health, I had some hiccups and I couldn't figure out what they were and where they're coming from, and they lasted weeks, months. I ended up in the hospital with high blood pressure, no solution to the hiccups, and I said, "Hey, I got to get my life together." I saw photos of myself and realized how things had gotten. You don't sometimes you just don't realize slowly over time that you go from that large to extra large to double XL to triple XL. Next thing I know, during COVID, I'm in the 300s. I didn't even realize it. A photo kind of was that aha moment. I didn't even recognize the person I'd become. Tired, heavy, unmotivated. I was great at my job, but terrible at taking care of myself. I just decided, hey, no one can fix these hiccups. This blood pressure medicine isn't working. I got to go back to the basics of exercise, diet, and I'm going to quit drinking. And drinking wasn't a problem for me as far as I wasn't an alcoholic. It wasn't impacting my daily life, but just the excess of calories and the bad choices in eating, I decided alcohol had played its part in my life and it was time to try the sober life.
Sure. I mean, you have a couple of beers with that cheeseburger and French fries. It's like having two helpings.
Right.
Yeah. You'd already worked in the industry, and suddenly the idea of the pool became really personal to you. It wasn't something that you were just selling anymore. I mean, it literally became the thing that saved you. I want you to get deep into that, James, for me. I mean, how did that shift happen? I mean, when did this is my job turn into this is my new lifeline?
Yeah, that's the craziest part. I've been surrounded by pools my whole career. I never looked at one as a tool for transformation. And one day it just clicked. I don't need a gym membership. I have a world-class training tool sitting in my backyard. Literally 10 feet from me right now. I'm by my pool. The accessibility is just, it's huge. Once I started swimming, the pool stopped being something that I sold and it became my therapy, it became my gym, my sanctuary. It was my time away from the hustle and bustle of work and my children. And I started doing it at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., just getting my day started before the rest of the world was up, right? And once I started swimming, and went from a line item on the sales sheet to a lifeline that completely changed who I am. It just started with small changes, right? Just getting to the pool. We got the pool installed in February, and I don't know what made me just decide, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just start exercising. But March of 2024, March 18th, day after St. Patrick's Day, ironically or coincidentally, I decided to make that life change, put the drinks down, and I was going to start swimming every day and not drinking. And that was the routine. That was the new routine. And I wanted to see how long I could keep it up for.
Yeah, it's really inspiring to me personally to see your transformation. I mean, your before photos look like how I look today.
A lot of America looks like that, right? You can see it in my
Yeah.
face, right?
Yeah, I mean, your after photos are just incredible. I mean, honestly, from 2024 to now, what you've done is just, it's nothing short of miraculous.
Appreciate that, Joe.
Honestly, I mean, tell me, what did those first swims look like for you? I mean, were you confident in the water right away, or was it kind of a humbling experience?
Oh, it was humbling. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been swimming my whole life. I'm from upstate New York. We had a vinyl liner pool, and we had 4 months, and we used that pool every day from 5 years old till, until I moved down here. I even went up to my parents' house on the weekends and used the pool. So swimming wasn't something that I wasn't used to, but swimming for exercise, I thought I was just going to glide across the pool like Michael Phelps because I had so much swimming experience. But no, no, no. Those first few sessions were rough. 10 minutes felt like an hour. My lungs were on fire. I was questioning every life decision that led to that moment. But it was empowering because every day I got a little further, a little smoother, a little stronger. And those small wins, they were big for me. I wasn't just chasing a six pack at that point. I was chasing consistency, just going every day. That was my goal, was to swim every single day.
I think a lot of people want to be at that kind of level where they're getting into that kind of routine. It's just they fizzle out before they see the results. I mean, when you first started with your 10-minute swims, you built that from there. I mean, when did you realize it was working, not just physically, but mentally you were locked in?
I think around the 1 month mark, because when you go every day, 30 days, that's a lot of time in. My body was changing, but the real shift was mental. I started craving that feeling of calm after a swim, that mental reset. Swimming forces you to breathe differently. You can't check your phone, you can't check your emails. It's just about you and your rhythm. That quiet became addictive. It wasn't just about burning calories anymore. It was about coming back to center, having that time for myself. And like I said, it started getting to the point where when I was heavy, I was forcing myself to get up at 7 a.m. And this changed. I was excited to get up my body was forcing me to get up at 5. I was energized, awake, ready, staring at the ceiling. Get up, get to the routine.
Well, you're releasing that inner athlete that you had inside you the whole time. I mean, what clicked that kept you coming back day after day? Because I think that's what people struggle with the most is establishing and maintaining that routine.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I think that's what people ask me the most. I think it's key to start small and not overcomplicate it. I'm not going out there to be a triathlete. Just starting with the 10 minutes and make it a routine, tie it to something that's like your morning coffee or right after work. Just create that cue that says this is my time. And I think it was big about just creating habits. And instead of looking at it like a mountain to climb, it was just something that I did.
Oh, you're talking about your routine and your rhythm now. I mean, what does a typical swim session look like for you? I mean, is there any kind of music or a mindset or a ritual that helps keep you on pace?
I mean, I've definitely tried the underwater music headphones that didn't work out very well. Now I think I'm on day 500 or 550. I don't keep track anymore. That's what they say, like with sobriety, once you're not white knuckling it anymore, counting the days. Now it's more about maintenance for me. So I do more easy training, resistance movements, integrated bench steps for recovery work. It's just a easy 30-minute swim for me at this point. I've incorporated more weights into my training. So I'm focusing a little less on intensity and doing a little bit more maintenance at this point. Just easy movements. I've done 500 days of intense training in the swimming process. So I've come from doing hundreds of laps where I've lost count. No music. It's my alone time. It's my quiet time. I'm in my head, and sometimes I go way over my time, and sometimes I just want to get it done, and I'm done in 30 minutes, and sometimes an hour and 10 minutes went by. It's just it varies, right?
Yeah, with your energy level during the day, I can imagine. Yeah. For people listening who have a backyard pool but rarely use it for fitness, what's the easiest entry point?
Yeah, I think, like I said, just not make it a mountain. The small wins are huge. Just being consistent. Starting with 10 minutes is what I did. I did 10 minutes twice a day, actually. I did 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night, just doing simple movements and just getting into the water and just making it consistent. I wanted to be consistent. I knew that's what stacking days I knew was what was going to win in the pool, was going to win in the diet, and win in the sobriety. And I think it's important to bring up the diet if you want to make the transformation like I did. I love pools and I want that to be the sole focus because it's what I sell, it's what I do. But we have to be honest with each other to make that kind of transformation, there has to be a calorie reduction, right?
So talk to me about your diet. I mean, what major changes did you make in the way that you eat that led to your weight loss transformation?
Well, I think giving up the alcohol helped make better choices. And this time around, I've lost weight in the past. I think a lot of people are experts at losing weight. What we don't do well is keep it off, right?
Right.
Everyone can lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds. We all know the formula, right? We may be in denial about it, but it's eating less and moving more. And I think sometimes we just get away from that. We make excuses. And next thing you know, it's because I ate too many carbs, or, oh, it's because I did this or that. I want to do this forever. So nothing was off limits, right? I do a balance of 80%, 20%. Nothing is off the table. If I really want a McDonald's cheeseburger, then I'll incorporate that into my calories. I'll make sacrifices to eat what I want. I'll have days where I may eat a little bit more, days where I'll eat a little bit less. But again, it's just about that consistency. I found a calorie deficit that worked for me, the amount of calories that I knew I had to consume in a day and split it up between 3 meals because that's what worked for me. Some people do 4, 5. But traveling and having slightly bigger meals worked better for me. And ate a lot of protein and ate a lot of fiber and a lot of whole foods, but also along those ways, I had some processed foods too. And like I said, I want to do this forever. And now I'm in maintenance calorie and I get to eat a little bit more and have a couple more treats. And I just have to make sure that I keep it dialed in and don't let things go too far off the deep end.
Yeah, I read the articles in Men's Fitness and you describing your diet. I thought that was an important point to hit on because it seems like, you didn't go keto, you didn't go paleo or some weird like, fad diet. Yours was something more along lines as, hey, I could still eat what I want to when I want. It's just I got to plan for what I'm going to eat or I have to stick to that 80-20 rule that you were talking about. I think that's a lot more achievable for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is, and I think a lot of people they look at a diet as again they white knuckle it. They get through 30, 60, 90 days, they lose the weight, and then okay, now back to my old lifestyle. And it's just that's not the way it can go. That's why the weight keeps coming back. So it was more of I'm going to eat more of these foods that are healthy for me, mostly the foods on the outside of the grocery aisle, right? Nothing in the middle of the stores, all the whole foods. People aren't sure what whole foods are. It's pretty much the foods that are on the outside of the grocery store, your vegetables, your fruits, your potatoes. Everyone thinks that carbs are the demon. You need carbs to have energy for your workouts, and I made sure to not take anything off the table and just be careful of how much I was eating and keep my activity levels high.
Well, what you've created is literally, like I said, another person who was hiding inside the other one all along. I mean, what surprised you most about the entire process, physically or emotionally, James?
It did make me a better father, a better husband, a better employee. And I think I was good at all those things before. But doing that with confidence and knowing who you are instead of hiding, and I think a lot of people hide that are overweight. You don't know your style. You don't know quite who you are because you're hiding behind. I wear black. My closet used to be black. Everything was black. Just because I didn't wear what I liked to wear, I wore what I could hide behind, and you could hide behind black really well. And so, this way I could see my style. my confidence. And unfortunately, one of the sad things about it is how people treat you. When you're not obese, people treat you differently. I've been treated differently since I've lost the weight. So that's important too, because if you're treated with respect and people open doors for you and initiate conversations with you on a daily basis, it does do something for your confidence and how you interact with the world and how you see yourself.
Sure, it's a tremendous esteem builder. I mean, having lived this transformation, what do you think builders and designers miss most when they talk about pools and the potential that they have to transform people's lives?
I think it's a great question. I'd say start with usability. You don't need a huge pool to make a huge impact. Builders could focus on things like length for laps, consistent depth for easy training, integrated bench, steps for, recovery work, automation, temperature control, the auto cover, all these things I have on my pool. I'm fortunate that Latham took care of me because I'm in Babcock Ranch, the nation's first solar powered community. And we really are focusing on fiberglass and we're pushing our product. So I have a great display pool. So I have an amazing auto cover that keeps my pool temperature regulated, that keeps my chemicals down. So I'm very fortunate to have that system. I also have a fresh water system. So it's like swimming in freshwater springs every day. I don't have to worry. I could be in this pool for hours and don't have to worry about chemicals, rashes. That's important. And especially in Florida, where these pools are used year round, and you can save so much money on chemical reduction and heat reduction. These heat pumps and these gas heaters are running all day long to maintain temperatures. We keep our pool at 91 all year long. We have a heater and a chiller. So I get up at 5 in the morning. I open that auto cover. I know that it was safe all night long for my children from drowning. And I open it in the morning and that pool is going to be 91 degrees, and it always is. And you can't do that with any other pool without that in any other part of the world without that auto cover. And having that in your backyard, it's like having a spa, right? It's like going to the world's best spa. And I think even the world's best spa probably couldn't maintain these chemicals and that temperature the way my pool does.
Well, tell me something. I mean, you make a great poster boy for Latham. I mean, the mantra of "Hey, we eat our own dog food,"
Yeah.
it definitely rings true with your story. I mean, if you were helping to design a kind of wellness first pool, something that changes lives the way yours did, what are some must-have features or design considerations you'd want in your pool?
Like I said, it would be just like what I have, right? I mean, I have a 16 by 40 with a pool spa with the automation, the auto cover, the freshwater system. I mean, this pool checks all the boxes. I have my spa to heat up to 104 degrees. I have the chiller. I can turn the spa down to 50 degrees and make it a plunge pool. The pool is the right length to do laps. There's definitely a lot of designs that can be made to where you could have it half party and half health. We had a pool model like that before where, we have benches on one side and a pool lap going on all along the other side. There's a lot of things that we could do.
Well, weight loss is one thing, and taking it to the next level is another. I know a lot of people when they hit that plateau, they're like, how do I continue on my journey and my fitness journey using my pool? I mean, is there anything else that you'd recommend, like resistance training or anything of that nature?
I do hit the weights because I've always enjoyed bodybuilding and going back to my roots. I did, some bodybuilding when I was younger. And
Like,
I think a lot of
yeah.
people bodybuild, they just don't realize it. You're in a calorie deficit, you're lifting weights, and you're doing some form of cardio. You're bodybuilding, right? And maybe you're not putting on posing trunks and greasing up and getting on stage, but a lot of these bodybuilders, they cut for 18, 20 weeks. And cutting meaning they're in a calorie deficit and they're increasing their cardio. And it's hard, it's challenging for some of these guys. And a lot of these heavy people like myself, I did it for 80 weeks, and that's a long time to do that. I mean, these bodybuilders talk about how torturous their cut was pre-show, 20 weeks in a deficit with cardio. And well, if you're 300 plus pounds and you want to get down to 10% body fat, then it's going to take you some time. But again, I looked at it as a day by day thing and just being a part of a routine. I didn't want to make it to be one giant hill to climb. I appreciated a lot of the wins along the way, going from a 44 to a 30. buying new clothes, getting getting so much better at swimming and exercising and lifting weights and just appreciating as many wins as I could along the way instead of fighting it and looking at it as one giant mountain. I think that really helped.
I think your story is one that's going to resonate with a lot of people. I mean, even in our own industry, if your story could change the way that people think about pools, what message would you want them to take away?
And people spend thousands of dollars on home gyms, recovery gadgets, fitness subscriptions. The pool does it all, right? Cardio, strength, rehab, mindfulness. The narrative just needs to shift. It's not just a place to host barbecues or float with a beer. It's a place to build better humans, right? And we don't pitch it like that. I don't think at the kitchen table, a lot of these builders are pitching that lifestyle. Like, hey, this, you have accessibility of changing your life out the back door. What we sell is this amazing vacation, this amazing lifestyle. That's what we sell. And I love selling that to people. You change their lives, you give them all this extra space to basically have a vacation at home. And that's what really helped with COVID is people couldn't travel and they wanted that staycation. They all transformed their backyards into their own private vacation. But yeah, I think we need to focus on what pools can do for your health and your mind, right?
Absolutely. Such a phenomenal story. James, it's been so great talking with you. I mean, your story isn't just about your own weight loss. It's about what's possible when a pool becomes more than a backyard amenity. Thank you for reminding everyone in this industry that what we build literally changes people's lives.
Yeah, appreciate that, Joe. Thank you for having me.
And that's all the time that we have left for today. Make sure to like, share, follow, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time on another episode of Pool Magazine Podcast.
Get everything you need for your next job without the hassle at aquabluemosaics.com. We carry everything from high-quality pool tile, porcelain pavers, grout, fire and water features, and everything in between that you need to get your project done and put some money in your pocket. A literal showroom in the palm of your hand, we are the most powerful tool any pool contractor can have in their pocket. Become an Aqua Pro and save money on every order, get free samples, and have full access to our unmatched customer service. Easy to remember, hard to forget. Visit aquabluemosaics.com.